I think for all of us, this is a next level time on earth, and therefore that means it's time for the healers of the world to go to the next level in their own ways of being and their ways of serving.
Next Level Healer with Lee Harris. From the comfort of your home, join us for 2 weekends starting May 17th and 18th.
Hello everyone, welcome to the energy update for April. I'm Lee, and every month I take the pulse on what might be showing up for us energetically, emotionally, and psychologically. 3 of the themes that we'll be looking at this month are new and propulsive beginnings, energetic highs, and jagged truths in the self and globally. Stay tuned for the full update. Hello everyone, welcome to the April update for 2025. We have 8 themes to take a look at this month, and I will just dive right in and we'll kick off with the first theme. So the first theme of the month is new and propulsive beginnings. New and propulsive beginnings. So April brings with it a brighter energy and an uplift for many after a month or two of major releases and healing purges of inner shadow issues. This propulsive energy will be a welcome upshift after a period of stagnation or repression, and we'll see a more expressive and self-directed energy appear in and for many of us. So over the last couple of months, particularly as the world continues to be dizzying in everything that's going on around us and within us, many have gone through some major healings and purges. You might have been dealing with shadow issues, so the parts of ourselves that feel lower, less bright, less evolved, parts of ourselves we don't like, or parts of ourselves that we judge, and we are certainly seeing the shadow playing out globally. So everything that happens outside us, there is a mirror effect for the inside too. And so over the last couple of months, many have been processing, if you like, the sickness of the world that we are seeing play out through the body, through the self, through the emotions, through the mind. Some people I've spoken to have wondered why they feel so off. And in a couple of those cases, I just, mentioned to them, well, the world is, and as soon as people made that connection, it's not all just about me. There is a relationship I'm in here with the world as a whole. They were able to reset and breathe a little bit and realize, yes, this purging that is happening on the planet is also happening internally for many of us. And many of us are being dragged out of really old issues that have either been a part of us for a long time and never fully surfaced. Maybe we weren't ready before. Healing happens in layers. So it is the case for all of us that we manage to keep leveling up as we go through our life. And as we clear out certain things, so let's say low self-esteem has been a real issue for you for a long time, and you feel like your low self-esteem healing is kind of done. You've got to a point with it where you're like, I no longer feel haunted by low self-esteem, or like I'm the prisoner of low self-esteem. What will come next is self-expression. So the ability to express yourself freely in the world, because you're no longer hindered by the low self-esteem that used to stop you speaking your truth or expressing yourself in ways that you wanted to. So this is where the last line for this theme comes in. This propulsive energy will be a welcome upshift after a period of stagnation or repression, and we'll see a more expressive and self-directed energy appear in and for many of us. So these new and propulsive beginnings are very much on the back of what you may have just gone through in the last couple of months. It's logical that after a period of clearing and a period of healing, we get to emerge from being down in the hole, and we get to stand and look around and go, where do I want to go now? Where do I want to put my energy? How am I going to show up differently? So it can be a very exciting energy, this feeling of the newness. And my advice is always, if you're not sure what to do, just wait and observe and feel into things. You don't have to rush to create a new beginning, but many of us will be feeling this new beginning energy that's coming in now. Of course, it doesn't mean there won't still be challenges in the world, but you internally, in yourself, might feel like you're in possession of a strength or a self-directedness that you've really struggled to find in the last couple of months. The last couple of months, you might have felt like you were being much more thrown around by the waves. Now, you're on a paddleboard and you're moving forward and you're seeing where you want to go. That's the shift that many are going to feel as we move into April. Theme number 2 for April is jagged truths in the self and globally. Jagged truths in the self and globally. So these will continue and escalate. Truths that we hadn't previously been aware of can be hard to swallow and sit with in our bodies as we learn more about what was previously hidden from view in our world and our power system. The same is true of our own personal patterns and behaviors, which for many are rising to be healed in mirror tandem with the global shifts and shadows that are being revealed. So, we've known this for a while, that more is coming to light, things that were hidden previously, things that were concealed from we the people. They are beginning to emerge, be exposed, be revealed, be spotlit. And these truths are very jagged to experience. Even if you are an activist freedom fighter who is someone who is all about exposing the truth, there comes a point where your human psyche, your human body, your energy field has to grapple with what all of that means. So for example, if in your personal life, a jagged truth you recently experienced is someone you had a long relationship with, something comes out about them that radically changes who you thought they were, it stops being about them at a certain point and it starts being about you. Because whenever anyone outside us suddenly changes dramatically in our view of them or our relationship to them, so too does everything inside us have to go through a process of rearrangement. So no matter how gung-ho you are about some of the exposure that is going to characterize this time, this period that we're in, these years that we are in are very much about the shadow being revealed and truth coming to light. Even if you wanted that, the visceral experience of going through it can be very challenging. It can be hard to swallow. It can be hard to take. So as these truths continue to escalate globally outside us, it has a knock-on effect for people. So even if you yourself are quite hardy or you're quite used to all of this, it will be interesting for you to witness some of the vulnerability that is going to be rising in people around the world as they start to see a reality that they didn't quite think was the reality that they were in. This is a shock to them. This is news to them. They hadn't really seen the world the way that more and more of us are now being invited to see the world and see the truth of the world. So these are jagged truths. They can be hard to deal with in the self. They can be hard to deal with globally. And there is a ricochet effect of vulnerability as we go through this. It's a little bit like someone ripping the blanket off from around your shoulders and you get this sudden cold chill. So those of you who are very empathic, you'll be feeling that for the world. And those of you who are either experiencing some shocks in your own personal life where certain truths get revealed, or your reaction to it globally, it's a time that requires a lot of self-care and self-management to get yourself through, and to not, shall we say, put it all on yourself, to not make it all about you and how you're not coping. If you're not coping right now, there is a trigger event that is causing you to not cope. So once you can start to take the pressure off yourself and start to look at it more holistically, you'll recognize, yeah, this is the time I really need to look after myself. Okay, theme number 3, sharp and heightened awareness. Sharp and heightened awareness. April will be a month of sharp focus, which can mean revelations after periods of confusion or murkiness in relationships, in your goals, or in other areas of your life. It can also mean extrasensory perception will be opening up for people now. So you don't always have to act immediately on new awareness. You can let it sit in you and deepen before taking action. Commit to noticing your new awareness and being aware as step one. Action can come later. So what this is referring to is when you suddenly start seeing things clearly that you previously weren't seeing clearly, there can be something very liberating about that. It can feel like a relief because some part of your soul always knew this was going to happen, always knew this was going to be part of your reality, but you as a human, there was a level of amnesia that this was going to happen for you. But the reason I say sometimes letting the awareness sit with you for a while rather than acting on things immediately is it will give you time to really settle into this new reality. So for example, and this goes back a little bit to the prior theme, let's say you suddenly have the awareness that someone in your life has been having an affair, someone you are monogamously involved with, you find out they've been having an affair, and suddenly there's this sharp or heightened awareness around it. It might be that you want to immediately act or immediately change lots of things in your life, which is fine if that's what you do. But it can also be good if you're not quite sure what to do or how to act, to just sit with it and to keep seeing what you're seeing and to keep allowing yourself to process this new seeing. Let the awareness land in your body more and become more a part of your reality, because then you will make a more wise, more grounded decision as to what action to take next. So this will be a month of sharp focus. It can mean revelations after periods of confusion or murkiness in relationships, goals, or areas of life. The relationships piece I'm sensing is quite important here. Some of you may have been going through relationship issues in friendships, business partnerships, with loved ones, family members. And it may have been plaguing you for a while. Well, April is going to open your awareness around it, but also your clarity on what to do and what it means. And that will be its own kind of freedom. So sharp and heightened awareness is another theme for this month. Theme number 4, energetic highs. Energetic highs. So, depending on how you are able to hold or balance yourself, energetic highs will be a big part of your month. The speed of healing is at work right now, and higher consciousness is landing in more of us more than ever before. But some level of balance or knowing what you need and giving that to yourself will support the highs. Self-care gets rewarded by these higher states being attainable. Self-care is not a luxury, it is a necessity. So, first let's look at what energetic highs mean. Energetic highs can be states of euphoria. It can be states of massive progress that suddenly come into your life after a period of stagnation, or feeling like things weren't going your way, or feeling stuck, and all of a sudden things open up in your heart, in your mind. So an energetic high can mean many different things, but it's always positive. It always carries with it a positive vibration. It carries with it a feeling of connection to things, life force. So the way to increase your connection to these energetic highs that are available is, how are you holding or balancing yourself right now? The speed of healing is at work and higher consciousness is landing in more of us, but we have to support it. So a lot of this will come for many of you who've gone through the purging that I spoke about earlier, or the big healings. But at the same time, we support our ability to experience energetic highs by how we treat ourselves. So let's say you've been hard on yourself for a while, or you're going through a period of doubting yourself or attacking yourself or judging yourself. To the best of your ability, do one small thing for yourself each day that is loving or kind. Let's say you haven't been on your nutrition, your health, your fitness. You can spend the next 3 weeks beating yourself up about that, which will make your vibration lower. Or you can go, today, I'm going to take a walk around my block. I'm going to walk down my street. I only have to walk for 10 minutes, but it's me setting my boat in the direction of progress and shifting myself. So that's what I mean by making sure you're supporting yourself at these times. And then more of these energetic highs will come in. The energetic highs are the new you and your new level of vibration. They will feel high at first, but over time you will stabilize that high. That high will become the new normal. But when they first come in, there is a feeling of uplift and there is a feeling of openness and connection. And there will be a lot more of that available in the month of April. Okay. Theme number 5. The chaos engine of the multidimensional world. The chaos engine of the multidimensional world. Well, the chaos of our human world is evident. Most people are in shock, horror, recoil. Some are in excitement about everything that they're seeing going on. And we are in this period of our history, which has long been prophesized. This is the moment where everything starts to unravel in order to go to another level. The question is, how quickly can we get to the next level? How much damage happens along the way? And how much do we have to get squeezed before we, the people, start to ask for, demand, and speak up about what we want and need? That's going to be a huge theme in the next year or so. People revolution. So, even those of you who feel you are only passively watching the world are being internally pulled forward by all the changes that you are seeing around you, the chaos engine of the world. So the chaos of a world in flux is its own engine right now and is generating a lot of change from the stomach outward. So digestive or stomach issues might be more common this month too, because stomach issues are the solar plexus chakra, which is about will, power, and identity. So issues for you in your life around will, power, and identity, or maybe willpower, which I think for many has been an important thing to find as we've all kind of been shaken and stirred by everything that's going on. Reclaiming your own willpower, your own sense of will for what you're here to do and where you want to go in life can be more challenging at times of high chaos. But the reason this message came through is the chaos engine of the multidimensional world. The world is multidimensional and it's multi-layered, and we're all having very different experiences of the world right now. We are literally in very different dimensions. Some of us are in different timelines to others. That's part of what's happening on the planet. But what unifies us all is we can see the story of the world. We might be interpreting the story differently, but we can see the things that are happening. And that chaos engine is not just like watching a car crash, it actually generates energy in our body. And sometimes we go into horror, fear, shock, but at a certain point that chaos engine moves through your system and brings you back out into the world. So many of you will feel compelled to make changes because of the chaos of the world. So even as you might be moaning about what's going on or displeased about what's going on in the world, in tandem with that, you are being changed and generated as a result. So you're very in relationship to the chaos engine, and that energy is driving so many of us forward. But be aware of the stomach and the solar plexus chakra, which again is about will, power, and identity. So you might be experiencing themes around any of those areas. Okay. Theme number 6. Now this one has come up before. I can't remember when, but in the last year or two, versions of this theme have come up once or twice before. Who are we now and who are you? Who are we now and who are you? This is an ongoing shift for everyone. Disorientation precedes a new knowing and a new you. You may be regularly asking yourself, who am I now? And you may also not be recognizing the world anymore, or the people or the groups that you thought you knew. This is the chrysalis phase of a major transformation for all of us, globally and personally. I'll say that again, because this line stood out to me when I channeled it onto the page. This is the chrysalis phase of a major transformation for all of us, globally and personally. So who are we now and who are you? These go back to the last theme. This relates to identity. You will be finding that you might not recognize who you are anymore. Parts of you that used to work don't seem to be working. Things you used to engage with, you're not really interested in anymore. So there can be this real disorientation phase, but that disorientation always precedes a new birth, a new knowing, a new you. These are the labor pains of a new birth. So give yourself grace and space. And rather than freaking out about the fact that you don't know who you are anymore, or judging the fact that you don't know who you are anymore, recognize, oh, I'm traveling from point A to point Z right now, and I'm going through all the letters, and I know I want to get to point Z, but I'm not there yet. So I'm going to have to go through all these letters and feel my way through it. So be patient with yourself. And also, who are we now as a world? There's a lot of shifting going on, and there's a lot of shock. So at the moment, we still have a lot of shock moving through the collective, but slowly as these next few months ramp up, a lot of that shock is going to move into action and is going to move into expression in a big way. Expression towards the powers that be around what is going on. We're already seeing that playing out around the world in certain parts of the world. That's going to increase. There will be more groups of people rising up to say no, or to point out hypocrisy, or to point out areas of control and authoritarianism. So this is a very delicate process. Who are we now and who are you? And it's not to be rushed. So any of you who feel like you want the answer right now, let that go. It won't come. You just have to go through the process. And as you go through the process, you shake off old parts of yourself. You're in the chrysalis phase of becoming something and someone new. So be as patient with yourself as you can. And trust me, speak to other people. They're going through it too. You're not alone, even though it might feel like a very isolating moment for you as an identity. You are so not alone. This is global. So many people are feeling this. So rest assured. Theme number 7, self-regulation challenges and resets. Self-regulation challenges and resets. So self-regulation is the ability to serve and look after your emotions, your thoughts, your mind. When we're unregulated, things get chaotic in our emotions, in our minds, in our actions, in our behaviors. You know, we can do pretty wild things, destructive things towards ourselves, towards others. It can be very hard for us to calm. So self-regulation challenges for many right now, and resets, meaning some of you might still be feeling very challenged of how do I regulate myself and all that I'm feeling. But equally, many of you who've been living through that, this will be a month that you reset and you go, I think I've found a new balance point that I've been struggling to find for a few months. So nervous system reactions are common right now, with many feeling either activated by the world and a lot moving through you, or shut down and in retreat mode, pulled back. I'm hiding in here, I'm in a cocoon, you're not going to reach me, I certainly don't want to reach you. And that's okay. That seems to be the kind of polarity of how people's nervous systems are reacting. But these self-regulation challenges, any struggles you've had with soothing yourself or looking after yourself, it will lead you to a reset. And this activates a new level of caring for and understanding the self. So new methods and ways of giving balance to yourself will be part of the path. So do try new things when it comes to self-regulation. Even if you have been the world's most amazing yoga student for 15 years and yoga has been what you've told everybody about, you might be really thrown off right now because you're like, wow, the yoga isn't working like it used to. It might still be very important to you, but new things are needed now. There is a new version of you in operation and trying to birth. So you will need new ways to self-regulate, self-soothe, self-balance. So new methods and ways of giving balance to yourself will be part of the path. So do try new things when it comes to self-regulation. And finally, theme number 8, the psychic and telepathic becoming louder on Earth. The psychic and telepathic becoming louder on Earth. So, while this is already happening, there's more out there around psychic abilities and the fact that we're all connected to that realm. And telepathy, and interestingly, the telepathy tapes, I haven't yet listened to it, but I have seen this phenomenon of the telepathy tapes, and I've been thrilled to see what a global phenomenon that is. And the only reason it's a global phenomenon, not only, I'm sure it's brilliantly done, but it shows people want it, people want to know, people want to understand this part of ourselves that so many of us were taught to fear, or taught to deny, or taught to judge. So while the psychic and the telepathic becoming louder on Earth is already happening, more interest in, more measurement of these aspects we're tapped into, and a greater emerging of people with these gifts will continue and increase. As time goes on, this will just increase. And we're about to go through a whole new phase of that. This month heralds a new rise around all of these phenomena. Now, this changes the energy field on Earth quite dramatically, as it brings with it the power of intention and manifestation, which is important for raising and uplifting the Earth's possible timelines. Use your intentions wisely. They have an effect on your life and the lives of others. So what this refers to is if you are someone who is tapping into your psychic ability, into the part of you that can feel that we're all connected and we're having a dimensional conversation, not just a human mental conversation or what you've been trained to believe as a human. There is so much going on energetically all of the time around us that more of us are beginning to tap into, perceive, see, feel, and work with. That helps you influence what's going on in your life from a very energetic place. So an intention, you waking up one morning tired of feeling crabby for 2 months and saying out loud to the universe, I invite love, grace, and healing into my life today. I invite love, grace, and healing into my life today. That's you beginning to change the paradigm. That's you beginning to cast an intention out to the universe and put a signal out there to attract a magnetic relay of anything that can bring you love, grace, and healing. And that's how energy works. We work with it, we're in relationship to it, but for too long, that has been denied us, that understanding. It's been removed from us, even though many of us, when we come back to it, we go, oh God, I remember this. It's not new. It might feel new when it comes to you. It's actually very ancient, this remembering. So use your intentions wisely. They have an effect on your life and the lives of others. It's interesting, I did an interview this month with the wonderful Pam Gregory, the astrologer, about my new book, The Future Human. And in it, she spoke to the Z's my guides, for about the last 20 minutes. And they spoke very directly to her and her community, who hold these wonderful focused meditations as a group to bring healing to various parts of the world that need it and to uplift the timelines. They spoke about how powerful what they're doing is and how more of us need to remember the power of this. So the psychic and telepathic becoming louder on Earth is a big part of that. Okay, so those are all of the themes for today. And I just mentioned The Future Human. Thank you so much for your support of my book, The Future Human, created with Regina Meredith, the journalist that many of you will know from her show Open Minds on Gaia and other work that she has done over the years to bring truth to light and consciousness. And The Future Human is, it's a book taken from a series of conversations she had with my guides, the Z's, while I was channeling about all aspects of the world and where we're going in the coming decades. So we're so glad that you're enjoying it. It's available now worldwide on Audible as an audiobook, and also through other areas like iTunes. You can get the audiobook, and the physical book and the Kindle versions will be coming out in the rest of the countries, I think, this month in April, but it's already released in America. Okay, and then also this month we will be in Australia and New Zealand, which we're thrilled about. We're bringing the Big Love Tour across Australia and New Zealand. It's the final phase of it. We can't wait to be with you. And in a moment, we will share with you a trailer for my 6-day energy mastery immersion called Soul Magic. I've been running Soul Magic since 2016. It's an incredible week-long experience where through various different modalities, teachings, and intuition and working with the group energy, we all take an upshift together. So we'll give you a little clip of that in a moment. But lastly, I'm thrilled to announce that in May, something I've been working on for a while will be released, and it's an online training workshop called Next Level Healer. I'll tell you more about it on the energy update for May as well, but it's basically helping any of you who are healers in the world to take yourself and your work to the next level. It's its own path of self-growth. I know that from 21 years of experience and from working with healers along the way of how do we let go of the shackles that might be around us as humans, around us as souls, and allow us to be here to facilitate the healing that we are supposed to facilitate for others. And of course, like all of us, we get to heal ourselves along the way at the same time. So Next Level Healer, I'll be teaching over 2 weekends in May, live for those of you who want to join me. But for this month, thank you for tuning in. And here is a preview of our Soul Magic event that this year is taking place in La Jolla, San Diego. As an energy intuitive, one of the things that I had, it was just this intuition about people, about events, about timing.
This July, join intuitive guide Lee Harris and escape to the stunning beauty of La Jolla, California for a transformative 6-day immersive soul magic retreat designed to uplift your soul and awaken your inner joy.
Soul magics are always amazing, but this year there's a whole other thing that's going to happen, which we're really excited about.
Dive into topics of personal growth, healing, and spiritual awakening.
It feels like this is a program that's customized to me.
For me, it was the presence of everybody's mastery, along with somebody who's really embodied it, showing us the way.
Receive restorative channeled sessions to illuminate your path.
And what you are going to see as these surprising events take place is they are going to facilitate a faster rebuilding of your world.
Connect with like-minded individuals in a supportive and welcoming community.
But I really truly feel this is the most impactful retreat that I've ever been on.
The energy here is expansive and heartfelt and so soulful. Oh, and I adore Devore. The music really touches me.
He's vamping.
Set in the peaceful energy of La Jolla, this retreat is the perfect space to reconnect, heal, and transform. Join us in the Conrad Prebys Performing Arts Center. Every seat is incredibly comfortable and has a great view in this beautifully designed and intimate space. Soul Magic with Lee Harris, accompanied by Devore Bozique. Space is limited. Reserve your spot today.